Morning, guys. It's a rush job. Kids are all doing stuff. I've got to take Tina to football. I want to get this video uploaded to our channel, Defending Elvis, before I have to rush off. I got to take my son to work as well. So I can't do a long introduction, but I am so proud of Donna Presley, the #1 defender in the world, a true family member. Here goes, guys. I will have to stop and start a little bit because otherwise YouTube will tell me off. But I'm just so proud of Donna. She's amazing. Please subscribe to Donna Presley Official and on YouTube and and follow her on Facebook.
It is one of the most enduring questions about Elvis Presley. Was he coerced into marriage? Donna Presley now offers a measured account that challenges what many have long assumed.
Now remember, this is one of the biggest asked questions ever in Elvis history, yeah? Especially with Elvis defenders, yeah? So this is important that from the horse's mouth, we get an idea nearer the truth, nearer what happened from someone who was actually there, who grew up with Elvis, who lived with Elvis, who knew Elvis, the true man, really well.
Hello everyone, I'm Donna Presley and I'd like to welcome you to the Donna Presley Official YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that's very personal about Elvis.
This is very serious, isn't it? This is like one of the most asked questions ever.
We talk about Elvis, we speak about the performer, the legend, but you don't always see the man. The Elvis we knew as a family man was different from the public image that followed him. He was thoughtful, creative, and full of feeling. Performing was never just a job to Elvis. It was his purpose. He could move an audience with a song or bring a story to life on film with the same natural ease, whether he was singing or acting. His gift was unmistakably God-given. Every word, every look, every moment mattered to him. He worked until it felt real. That was what he cared about most, was truth in his work. Now, away from the spotlight, Elvis was gentle and reflective. He loved to talk to you about life, faith, and people. He could have everyone laughing one moment and then grow quietly, thinking deeply the next. He felt things with a rare intensity, and he carried both joy and sorrow with complete grace. Now to the question people keep.
So, just very quickly, so I'm just trying to tell a few more people that I've posted a live video. This is the thing I love about Donna Presley. The way that she describes Elvis, she really knows him, yeah? But the way she puts words together to describe him as a human being, the true man, the Elvis, the family member, not just the superstar, not just this amazing singer, yeah? She describes the person she knew as a human being, that she lived and was related to, a family member, a Presley.
Asking, was Elvis coerced into marriage? To that answer, you have to understand the world he was living in. In those days, appearances mattered a great deal. A young woman spending time in or near Graceland without being married was considered improper by outsiders.
So, I've brought this up many times in my live streams, yeah? Many things were different, as we all know. Many of us are older, aren't we? Yeah? I'm 58. Many of you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. Everything was different. Everything was different. When I was growing up in the 70s and early 80s, to marry a 16-year-old girl was completely normal. Completely normal, not unusual. 16, 17, 18, 19 people were getting married. That's in the UK, yeah? So we have to remember Elvis was from a different decade, the 50s, 60s, 70s, yeah? So everything's different.
It was not the Presley family who said that. We loved him. We understood him. and we wanted him to be happy. The judgment came from outside, from the press, from public gossip, and from people who felt entitled to make rules for his private life. Two sources of pressure then began to gather. Colonel Tom Parker, who managed Elvis's career, cared first and last about image and control. He believed a marriage would stop the gossip and keep the business steady. At the same time, Priscilla's father wanted respectability and protection for his daughter. Those interests moved in the same direction.
So remember, this is what we've always been told. The pressure from Colonel Tom Parker, the pressure from Priscilla's father. Yeah, these were the big factors. And as Donna had said, the times, what was expected, in the 60s. Yeah, so the pressures of just normality of that period. Yeah,
and they created a weight around Elvis that was very hard to ignore.
And I can imagine, we have to put ourselves there, guys. You imagine being in the 60s. Elvis has been, obviously, who he is, and he's been with Priscilla for a while. You've got this outside pressure, yeah, to do the right thing. Remember, we're talking about a Christian man with a very kind heart, a very well brought up man, a decent man. So he's trying to keep his own moral compass happy, but he's also trying to keep the world happy. He wants to show the world he's a good man, he's a decent man, he's a Christian man. It's funny because Joe Sins mentioned Peace in the Valley, that song in his video today. That's Elvis again, very early in his career, wanting to show the world he's a decent man, his Christian beliefs. Yeah. So I always feel that Elvis always had this line running alongside him of, look, I'm a Christian man. These are my beliefs. I want the world to know that I'm a good man. I really feel that is also part of the pressure of marrying someone in the 60s. Yeah. Unfortunately, to some for the right reasons, to some for the wrong reasons. You get it, guys?
Elvis did not respond well to pressure. Freedom meant everything to him. Freedom to think, to create, to live on his own terms. He often said that without freedom, he would not be himself.
I get that. Yeah, we were never going to confine Elvis, were we? Yeah, we were never going to stick him in a box. Elvis needed his freedom to just to feel himself.
My Uncle Vernon understood his. He shared with our side of the family that Elvis was not the kind of man who could be tied down easily. That was not disapproval. It was recognition of his nature and a wish to protect the space he needed. And
I love that. Recognition of his nature, of his, just who he was, yeah? A free spirit, yeah? So I think we, the fans, we can understand that.
In order to work and to be well. By the time marriage was being pressed on him, Elvis had grown as an artist and as a person. He wanted meaning and understanding, not a public solution to a public story.
So remember, they married May the 1st, 1967. Okay, so you have to put yourselves there. Where was Elvis in 1967? Where was he at in his career?
He cared about people, and he did not want anyone harmed by talk or scandal. He was told that refusing to marry would bring humiliation to a young woman, damage to reputations, and even trouble for his career. That is the setting in which a choice stops feeling free.
Big, what she has just said is big. Really listen to the words that are being said in this little. Let me just play just those few words again, guys. That it's very important.
Or scandal. He was told that refusing to marry would bring humiliation to a young woman, damage to reputations, and even trouble for his career. That is the setting in which a choice stops feeling free.
I have to agree with that.
So was he coerced? Yes. in the true sense of that word. He was not forced by threat or by violence. He was cornered by expectation, by image, and by duty that others laid on his shoulders. He consented, but under pressure strong enough to make refusal carry a weight and a cost that he did not want others to pay.
See, I completely understand this. Completely.
Within the family, we tried to stand close and be steady. We did not judge him. We knew who he was, loyal, kind, private, and serious about his work. We also knew how hard it is to live a personal life in front of the whole world. Many of us did not expect and did not consider that he would truly go through with a wedding arranged in that way. When he did, we stayed beside him. That's what family does.
And it was a shotgun wedding, wasn't it? It was a rush job. You know, I know they did it, the Aladdin, but then it was a follow-on reception at Graceland's, but it all did feel very rushed.
Elvis's relationships cannot be understood without recognizing the extraordinary complexity of his inner life. He was a man of many layers, each one shaped by a different facet of his nature. His creative depth was immense. He moved between music, acting, spiritual study, and personal reflection with an intensity very few people could match. His gift was not limited to talent. It extended into an intellectual curiosity that often surprised those who only saw the performer. He read widely, questioned deeply, and searched for meaning. He explored faith with both reverence and urgency. His humor was playful and sometimes obscure. His emotional life was vast. When he cared for someone, he cared with a depth that could be almost overwhelming. To stand beside a man like that required far more than affection.
Wow. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. The words that she pieces together. Wow. Honestly, I'm going to have to play them one more time. It's just too... She so knows Elvis. She so knows him.
Move between music, acting, spiritual study, and personal reflection with an intensity very few people could match. His gift was not limited to talent. It extended into an intellectual curiosity that often surprised those who only saw the performer. He read widely, questioned deeply, and searched for meaning. He explored faith with both reverence and urgency. His humor was playful and sometimes obscure. His emotional life was vast. When he cared for someone, he cared with a depth that could be almost overwhelming.
Oh, I know this about Elvis. Do you hear that? When he cared for someone, he cared with a depth that was overwhelming. Not someone, the world. Elvis, that's how he felt about the world. All human beings, mankind.
To stand beside a man like that required far more than affection. It required perception, emotional intelligence, and the ability to understand his many dimensions without fear or insecurity. Elvis did not live on the surface of anything. The people closest to him had to be able to meet him on those deeper levels. They needed to understand the demands of his artistry, the weight of his expectations for himself, the discipline he brought to his work, and the spiritual hunger that guided so much of his thinking.
I don't have to add to that. That's perfect and beautiful.
Few people could do that,
Right, 1 second.
not because they did not
We've
care,
got 1 minute left.
but because sharing a life with a man of such extraordinary
I
scope
charged it for you, it's next
is
to me.
demanding in ways that ordinary relationships do not encounter.
Love it.
Elvis was searching for someone who could walk with him through all the layers of who he was. Someone who could see the artist, the thinker, the seeker, and the man who carried so much love and responsibility. Someone who could remain steady within the intensity of that world without losing herself and without diminishing him. This is why the idea of remaining with a single romantic partner was never simple. It was not about disloyalty. It was about the difficulty of finding someone whose emotional and intellectual landscape matched the breadth of his own. For Elvis, connection to be profound and sustaining and meaningful. When those qualities were not present, the relationship could not carry the full weight of his life. In the years that followed, there were other relationships. Women cared for him, and he cared for them. That was not carelessness. It was the mark of a man still searching for a bond that matched the depth of his heart. Here is the truth as I know it. The marriage served an image. It did not serve
Hi guys, kids are here, so there's 1 minute left. We're going to play that and I'll see you later.
the man. It answered appearances. It did not answer his nature. Elvis lived as an artist through and through, a man who loved deeply, who thought deeply, and who often suffered from being misunderstood. He needed freedom in order to give what God had placed within him. When that freedom was constrained, he struggled. We understood that. We saw it, and we stood by him. So was Elvis coerced into marriage? Yes, he was. Not by a hand on his arm, but by the weight of public morality, by management's control of image, and by the insistence that a private question must take a public shape. He chose what would protect others and quiet the noise, and the cost of that choice fell on him. That is the Elvis I knew. That is the Elvis our family knew. And I believe God sent him to this world for a reason far greater than any of us will ever fully understand. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Until next time, God bless.
Thank you for watching. Donna Presley shares these moments of perspective so the past can be understood with greater clarity. If you would like to follow her as she continues this work, please subscribe. We look forward to welcoming you back.
Okay guys, that's it, finished. So I've got to take my son to football and my other son to work. So the kids are here. Sorry about the noise. See you later guys.